things off today, we're going to be diving into building a couple of items with our recently acquired Allthemodium. And I was taking a look. The best way that we have to process this at the moment is going to be with our Ender IO sag mill and then smelt it with our alloy smelter. So we're going to go ahead and run that through our system. And that should give us 4 Allthemodium dust, which we then can smelt into ingots. Now, we're going to have to pick and choose what we want to craft. I'm not going to worry with trying to upgrade our tools because one, I'm currently happy with our netherite. That might change once we start messing around in the other, but at a minimum, we can get into the mining dimension and find some more Allthemodium. So what we're going to be using our Allthemodium on, if you can't tell from our JEI, which is kind of already giving it away, is I want to craft a Mach 3 mining gadget, which requires blank upgrade module, which uses Allthemodium nuggets. So we're going to get started by turning 2 of these into nuggets. And actually, the very first thing we're going to craft is the teleportation pad that we need to access those other dimensions. And we need an ender pearl. Let's grab that from our chest with all of our mob drops. Hopefully today we'll be able to add a whole bunch more drops and get all of our storage consolidated. That is one of our goals. All right, let's go ahead and get that crafted. And now we can worry about, not worry about using up all of our Allthemodium before crafting our teleport pad. All right, now let's go back over to building gadgets, or mining gadgets. And we're going to be crafting the Mach 3, which, as we said, needed one of these blank upgrades. Let's go ahead and craft that. And now we should be able to build our Mach 3 gadget. And I want to start looking at some upgrades for this bad boy. And in order to upgrade it, we need this little block right here called a modification table. We're going to go ahead and craft one of those, which is going to require another upgrade module. Let's go ahead and craft a few of these because we're going to need them for the various things that we want to apply to our mining gadget. All right, now we should be able to craft that table. We'll just stick it over here up against the wall, and we're going to stick our mining gadget in there. And actually, before we can do that, we need to actually craft our upgrades. So the first one we want to do is Fortune, which is quite expensive. We got to do the first tier first, which uses 2 blocks of iron, 6 blocks of lapis, and 1 of those upgrade modules. And then we should be able to go ahead and craft the tier 2. Looks like we need more lapis already. We might run out of lapis today, guys. I had made a whole bunch and we already have ran out. And now for the tier 3, even more lapis and 2 diamonds. I don't know if I have enough lapis, guys. Do we have enough? Oh, we're cutting it super close. There's our tier 3 fortune upgrade. And now we can look at efficiency and possibly range, but I definitely want to do efficiency first. And then we're just going to move on to the next one. This is a whole bunch of redstone. We have plenty of redstone, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, we need some more redstone blocks though. And that should give us our tier 4 efficiency. Oh, tier 3. And then tier 4 is going to be more blocks of redstone. And the final one is going to be, I don't know if I have that much redstone. We need 8. It is just enough, guys. We now have 2 very critical upgrades for our device to even use it over our pick. And I think that's all we're going to add. I might add a couple more, and if I do, I'll show you guys. Probably range. Let's do a range one. For now, we'll just do a tier 1. I also would like to do a magnet. And possibly a void in the future. We'll just have to see. We'll have to play around with it. Maybe some of these 3x3, 5x5s. That would be very nice to have. And a tier 1 battery. Let's do a battery upgrade. What's tier 2 battery? Tier 2. We need blocks of quartz. And that used up all of our quartz. So we don't have any more nether quartz, I don't think. Is that all the nether quartz that we had? Oh no, we have a ton of nether quartz. Let's throw that into our system. And there is our tier 2 battery card. And now all we have to do is go over here. Where do we click it there? Yeah, and then we should be able to just add these just like that. Per block cost is 375, but we have a 5 million power buffer, and we can charge that up with our wired charger. And that will take a little bit of time. Now that we have our mining gadget all decked out and our teleport pad, we're going to drop this down in the corner of the room, and we're going to head to the mining dimension in order to gather up a whole bunch of resources and hopefully find a whole bunch more Allthemodium. So we're back from our mining adventure, and you're going to notice a few things are starting to change around here. The most obvious thing is we got rid of all the borderless glass around our applied energistic system and replaced it with this square purple stained glass. I'm not sure how I feel about it. You guys let me know in the comments. We'll probably end up changing this again, and eventually most of this will probably get moved out of here. I don't know. We're in the middle of planning and expanding the base quite drastically, so our control center could end up getting moved. We've also crafted 5 more 16K storage drives, so we've more than doubled our storage, and we basically have everything in our digital storage system now, except for a couple of items. One of those is going to be all of our enchanted books, all of our loot and weapons and things like that that are not stackable, and all of our excess cobbled deep slate, cobblestone, stone, and dirt blocks. Eventually, I hope to digitize this as well, but for now, we are gonna keep it over here in the sophisticated storage. And as far as our mining trip goes, we did end up with quite a bit of ores. Most of it is processed at this point, but we still got a little bit to go through, and there might be something stuck in there. Nope, it just appears like none of this could run through the sag mill. That's unfortunate. I would have thought the Inferium essence could, but I guess it couldn't. That's okay. We can break that down with a fortune pick later. The most important thing, guys, over here in this barrel, you're gonna see not 1, not 2, but 12 Allthemodium slate ore. Not bad for about 30 minutes of mining. Which reminds me, if we take a quick peek at our mining gadget, we have added 3x on it so we can mine in a 3x3, silk touch, and a light placer. There is reasons why we added this, and it'll make sense in just a moment. But first, there's something that I want to craft. So I've had a few people recommend a pylon that will apply potions at any distance, and that is the Infusion Pylon from the mod called Pylons. I don't know if this is in the quest book, but it is very useful for applying creative flight potions and a few other potions to your player at all times. This will be useful for building, especially on the outside of our building. So we're going to go ahead and craft that, and I have everything ready to go for that. And then I'm going to just set it over in the corner because I'm going to have to look into the best ways to craft some of these potions, how to set all that up. And once I have that ready, guys, I will bring you guys back in and we'll take a look at it and we'll see what we're able to come up with. Now that we have our pylon set up, I did end up crafting one of these potion filters for the Infusion Pylon. And if we just go take a quick peek at that, you'll see that it's pretty simple to craft. It's just some glass, 1 emerald, some green dye, and 2 pieces of terracotta. And then once you have that, the way you apply potions to it is drink the potion and then right click with it in your hand, and it'll add whatever time is left on the potion to the card. And different potion effects have different time limits. And the only one we currently have is flight, which gives us creative flight anywhere we go on the server as long as this chunk that it's sitting in is loaded. And that took about 7-8 minute flight potions. So it was a little bit of work. I did end up doing that on the stream, which is why we don't have the footage of that. But if we take a quick peek, you can see it's just a popped chorus fruit, a potion of levitation, which is made from a potion of slow falling, and a fermented spider eye, which is made from awkward potion and a phantom membrane. And of course, an awkward potion, as you guys know, is made from a water bottle and nether wart. So a little bit of a complex potion, but not too bad. And like I said, it took about 7. I want to say I made 9 creative flight potions in order to have flight wherever we go. So why did we want creative flight and 3x3 on our mining gadget plus silk touch and light placer? Well, I'm about to show you. Over here, while working on this episode, we did stream over on Twitch, which, you know, if you haven't, you should definitely go check us out over there. We cleared out this huge area and built this room, and I think it's really looking pretty good. I still want to find some more elements to add to this build to kind of make it pop and have a little bit more depth, but it's coming together really good. I think we have, for the most part, figured out a pretty cool looking door design, but I want to know what you guys think. And if you have any suggestions, any ideas for this block palette in this build, just let me know. We're going to continue to tweak it and continue to change things. We are still kind of working on this and bringing things together, so just ignore all the construction. We're going to end up putting a door right here with a little fake wall so we can hide cables. And that reminds me, if we pop over here, you'll see that when I play modded Minecraft, around all of my rooms, I like to have a 2-block wide area so I can have an area to run cables and connect things up and hide it so you don't see it. And that will make more sense once we start building things. And I also have these little areas where I can run cables up through the floors. I also leave a gap in between my floors so we can, ooh, that shouldn't be there. Oh, no, that is the walkway. That should be there. I do like to leave a gap in between my floors for cables and things like this. So it's pretty clean. There are some areas where we still need to dig out. Like I said, there's a lot of construction. It'll start coming together. But what are we going to use this area for? You may be asking that. Well, the simple question is, well, not question, response is we're going to be building some multi-block structures in here. We're going to be diving into Mekanism. I'm thinking either this wall, or maybe down here on one of these walls. And this area over here is going to be where we build some big multi-block structures. We may end up splitting this up some more, maybe expanding it. We'll just see. This is just the start, guys. This is going to be a huge base. We have a netherite seed. Guys, that used so much of our essence, but I'm excited. And because of the quest rewards, we got an extra diamond seed and an extra emerald seed. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Those are both tier 5 seeds. We are gathering up quite a bit of essence, so we'll probably do some crafting here as well. But I think it's time we start putting things together for Mekanism. If we take a quick peek in our applied energistic system, you're gonna see in order to dive into Mekanism, we're gonna need a lot of 2 primary components to craft most of the machines and blocks within the mod. One of those is going to be the basic control circuit. And if we take a look, you can see that it is made using the infuser from Mekanism, and it's simply redstone combined with osmium. The other primary component we're going to need to craft a lot of is going to be, well, these energy tablets, but the energy tablets use a block called an infused alloy. And if we take a look at infused alloy, you'll see it's also made in the infuser. We're going to start with the infuser. And if we just search for infuser, because I'm not seeing it in the list there, we should be able to find it here. And we're going to craft one of these. Now that we have that, we're just going to temporarily place it over here on the wall somewhere where it can get power. We can start processing a whole bunch of the components that we need before putting together the initial machines that we're going to craft today. So I'm in the middle of making some of this infused alloy, and I'm trying to make a couple stacks of both these and the basic control circuits. But as you can see, guys, this machine is so slow. So we're gonna grab some of these. We're gonna head over to our applied energistic system, and we should be able to make a speed upgrade for that infuser. I just have to find the right one for Mekanism. There they are right there. No, that's for Ender IO. Oh, no, right there. Speed upgrade, and that is for Mekanism. Now, this does dramatically increase the power consumption. There's also an efficiency upgrade that you can add. But for now, we're going to try to get away with just maybe 1 or 2 speed upgrades and see what that does to our power usage. You'll see that these require a little bit of osmium dust, some structural glass, and infused alloy. We don't have 2 of those 3 items, so let's craft some structural glass, which is steel, which we have plenty of now, and glass. So we're gonna craft a little bit. Let's do 2, and out of curiosity, let's look at the energy one and see what that cost. That's going to be gold. Let's do a couple of these as well. Guys, I have those turned down so low, and they're still so loud. I don't know if they're loud for you guys, but they are loud in my ear. I'm going to end up having to move those somewhere. They're driving me nuts. All right, let's do 2 of each. Just to show you guys, let's pull the speed upgrades off. And you can see that, did I pull speed or energy? Oh, I pulled speed. Let's just pull them all off. So without any at all, it's using 227. So it's not really using that much power. It was 207 without this running, which is how much our guard enclosures are pulling. So now if we put the speed upgrades in there by themselves, yeah, you see it dramatically increases the output. It doubles it. But we can put the energy upgrades in there, and it pulls it back down somewhat. All right, well, let me finish crafting these components, and we're gonna get back on track, guys. Now that we have a stack each of our alloy and our basic circuits, let's start crafting a few machines. And we're going to do the scary thing and pull up our quest book, which is an absolute mess. I will clean this up at some point. As I've said before, we're going to come in and out of here. There's just so much here. There are a couple things I want to take a peek at. One of those is pylons. So we did craft our initial polished blackstone, which is required to get into pylons. And then we crafted our infusion pylon. And then we finally crafted our potion filter, which gives us some fun rewards. I didn't know we were going to get a brewing stand. That's okay. They're not that expensive. Now we're going to pop over to Mekanism and take a quick peek here at all the things we've done so far. So obviously we're producing steel. We've crafted basic mechanical pipe. We have crafted basic universal cables. We've gotten these as rewards, so we'll go ahead and check these off. This is not something we've actually crafted. And we've obviously done our speed upgrades and our energy upgrades. And finally, up here at the top, we've done our infuser. We've done our infused alloy, and we've crafted a basic control circuit. This other stuff, once again, rewards. But we'll go ahead and take it, get the stuff. And that will catch us up for today with our quest book. I will clean the rest of this up later. Okay, guys, I think we're now prepared to step through all the machines that we're going to craft today to wrap things up. First machine we're going to build is a purification chamber. And we're actually going to attempt to get all of these at a factory level, a basic factory level. So we're going to build this purification chamber first. And we're just going to look these up because the mechanism page is just too big. Purification chamber. We're going to craft that first. And the enrichment chamber. Ooh, that actually requires some components we may not have. But I think we're going to be good. So we need a enrichment chamber. Then we can make the purification chamber. I'm glad we got those advanced control circuits from that reward. We're going to be able to craft those. Otherwise, we would have had to went back and make some more stuff. So now we have a basic purifying factory. What is the next thing we needed? It was an electronic separator. So we're going to need to get oxygen. And we get that from pumping water into an electronic separator. And we're going to go ahead and craft that, which requires this core, electrolytic core. We should have everything we need for that. We just need to grab some iron dust from our barrel. Now we should be able to craft it. Throw it in the system so we can get our next machine. And from there, if we take a quick peek at our quest book, the next line in the chain, so purification. Actually, we need to send that into a crusher first in the enrichment chamber, but we need the oxygen to feed this machine. So we actually did the right thing. So the next thing would be a crusher. We're going to build the basic machine first. So we're kind of skipping a step, going straight from the base machines into the factories. Hopefully our power is adequate enough for this. I'm going to go ahead and craft that. And back to our quest book. We're not going to need an enrichment chamber because we're going to go from purifier into the crusher, then crusher into an so we do need an enrichment chamber, then finally a furnace. So we need two more machines. And we're going to go ahead and make that a factory. And then we're finally going to need a smelter. And we will probably make some upgrades for these. The last machine we're actually going to make is that osmium smelter, or compressor, excuse me. That's going to be needed to make some additional components. We're going to have to craft a couple of these. Now we're going to craft that. That'll be another quest reward. Basic compressing factory. We're going to go ahead and make that a factory. And I think that is all the machines we're going to need in order to set this up. We have our osmium compressor, our energized smelter, our enrichment chamber, our separator, our purification chamber, and our crusher. I think that is all we're going to do today. I want to make a basic energy cube before we go set all this up. Now that we got all these, I'm going to work on getting these all set up. And then I'm going to bring you guys back and I'll show you how we have them set up and how they function. Okay guys, I have to admit, this took a little longer than I was anticipating, but I have it all hooked up. I've did a little bit of testing and we should be good to go. So we're gonna step through everything we got here and I wanna show you exactly what's going on. Essentially, this is, I believe, what is known as a tier 2 ore processing setup. So we should be getting 3 ingots per raw ore. And we're gonna go ahead and just dump a stack in here. And then we're going to step through it as it's processing. All of these machines have 1 speed and 1 energy upgrade, except for this separator, which shouldn't need one at the moment. It should be producing more than enough oxygen. But if we take a peek at the purifying factory, which is where the oxygen is going across this pressurized tube into the left side of this basic purifying factory, you can see it's taken all of the ore. I have it set to auto sort on all these machines. And if we take a quick peek at the config, you can see that it is getting items are input, output on the right side, output out the bottom. For chemicals, it's inputting on the left side, which would be our oxygen, and then energy on the back. It is sending the iron clumps down to the basic crushing. And the basic crusher is turning this into dirty iron dust. And it configuration is basically the same. Input from the top, output the side, and then energy on the back. And then from there, it's moving over to our basic enriching factory. which is taking the dirty iron dust and turn it into a regular dust. And looking at the config, you can see input the left side, output the top. Auto eject, I want auto eject turned on all of these. I keep having to check this stuff because I'm missing things. We want to make sure auto sort is on so it balances across the 3 inputs. And then it ends up, once it turns the dust into ingots, which are then getting put in this barrel. So that was a stack of raw iron. So we should end up with 3 stacks of iron ingots. You may notice a couple of extra machines here. Well, we're gonna take a quick peek at those. This is our compressing factory. And this is how we get a couple of different productions. We're gonna take a quick peek at those now. If we look up compressor, we'll right click on it and it'll show us what it can be used for. So if we get refined obsidian, run it through this machine, we get refined obsidian ingots, and then glowstone, we can get refined glowstone. That's really the only 2 uses for this compressor. I have it set up. You might be wondering why there's 2 inputs. Well, Mekanism is a bit weird. It has to take the input for production in one and input for the extra on another. I couldn't get it to just come in. It was kind of annoying, but that's how we have it set up, and the output out the top, so to go into the same barrel as our ingots. So to show that off, we're going to drop some osmium ingots in there along with some glowstone. You'll see that the osmium is going in the bottom and the glowstone is going into the production slots. So that does work, and it'll send the refined glowstone up to this barrel. We are going to upgrade these barrels so they can hold a lot more. Last but not least, we have created a sawmill so we can get a lot of planks. So if we drop this stack of spruce logs in there, you'll see them getting sent over and getting chomped up into planks. And this should give us, like, I think it's 6 planks per log, so it's better than crafting them by hand. And those will go down into this barrel. I will be working on speeding these up with upgrades as well as improving the storage. But I think this is a really solid start. Really quickly, I want to see what our power draw is, because I haven't actually looked with all 6 of those machines running. So we're already pushing near our max. So not bad. Those all 6 running at the same time with 1 speed and 1 energy upgrade are using about 625 FE a tick, because remember, we have a little over like 207 passive being used by our guard enclosures. And just kind of show you how clean this is on the back side. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I love seeing a whole bunch of cables and stuff running all over the place. And I did notice, looking at some of the mods that I have for performance and making sure nothing's laggy, believe it or not, the mechanism cables are more efficient than the Ender IO stuff we were using. So we will be slowly switching everything over. But I think for today, guys, we're going to wrap things up. As always, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. I've had a lot of fun working on our mining gadget, as well as setting up our initial basic factories from Mekanism. In the next episode, we're going to dive back into immersive engineering and start setting up some multi-block structures. If you did enjoy today's episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. This is Agro Ninja, and that's a wrap.